Hello everyone, my name is Maryam Zahida. You can call me Azra. I want to tell you some tips for writing IELTS. So you have decided to make the IELTS exam. Great choice! Okay, I will read some tips on the text. First, analyze the questions. Second, identify the main features. Third, write an introduction. Fourth, write an overview. Fifth, write the details paragraph. This is an example of a pie chart. Why it is called a pie chart? Because it looks like a pie before eating a pizza or an apple pie. It is divided up into slices. Each slice can be cut largely or smaller depending on the person who eats, but the size of total pie cannot be changed. So this kind of chart is easy to represent the total amount of something in different proportions. In this case, the chart is divided up into the shares of total food consumption held by each of 7 different food types in 2014. Now, let's write a report describing the pie chart. The easiest part of the report is to write the introduction. For this, you simply paraphrase the topic sentence. Here, how I wrote it. The pie chart compares the percentage of 7 food types which were consumed by the world population in 2014. Here I used compares instead of shows. Why is that? Well, this kind of chart tests your ability to compare auto-contrast data. There is no data changing over time. All we can do is just to use comparative language. The second easiest part of the report is to write an overview. For this, you will write 1 or 2 sentences by describing a general trend or some key features of the chart, but you don't need to use any numbers to support your statement. Now, let's look at the pie chart. There are 7 food types, and which food type was eaten the most by the world population in 2014. Try to find it. I will give you a couple of seconds. So, for those of you who were able to find it, congratulations! And for those of you who want to enjoy watching, feel free! Meat was eaten by people the most. The second most consumed food was fish. Both of them are originate from animals, so they can be grouped into one category. The others are plain source foods. We can group them into another category. In the overview paragraph, I'm going to include the 2 main food sources into one sentence. Overall, people feed themselves mostly with animal-originated foods such as meat and fish, besides plain source foods in their ear. As you see, I use the adverb word mostly to form the overview sentence. This is one grammatical structure to vary your sentence from. Remember, it is important to use a variety of sentence structures if you want to achieve a 7 and higher. Now, let's have a look at the instruction on the questions card. It's written that make comparisons where relevant. So, how to compare the data on that chart? If you compare 2 figures simply by saying one is more than the other or the other is less than one, you only limit your score. There are some different ways of making comparisons. One of them is to use superlative forms. Here, how I formed it. In detail, the red meat was the most consumed food type all over the world. It accounted for near 1/3 of the total food consumption. The second most consumed was the fish at 27.9%. Thus, 2 products altogether made up the majority of the whole consumption. Here, the superlative form is the most consumed. It means the figure for red meat is the highest than any figure shown on the chart. Another superlative form is the second most consumed, the percentage of fish consumption second, highest figure. So, one alternative way for making comparisons is using superlative forms. In the public version of Writing Task 1, Ben's description, it is written that the candidate who use wide range of structures gets a score for their grammatical range and execution. This is one of 4 criteria on which your writing will be evaluated. In terms of crops, namely rice, bread, and cereals, they consist about in 5 of total. The percentages varied from 2.5% to 11.7% respectively. In addition, the bread was eaten twice as many as the rice, but was eaten 2/4 as less as the cereals. There is another way of making comparisons with the phrase as much as or as less as. If you look at the chart, it is visually seen that the percentage of bread is twice more than the percentage but twice less than the cereals. In this paragraph, I gave the same ideas in a different way in the last sentence. Here, the word respectively means that provided percentages by an order belong to the crop which names mentioned in the same order before. In other words, the first figure, 2.5%, is related to the rice consumption, and the last figure, 11.7%, related to the cereals consumption, and the figure for bread can be found between the two fish. So, why do I only give the 2 figures instead of 3? Well, if we have a look at the instruction on the question card, it is seen that summarizes the information by selecting, so you don't need to write every single information in your report. Select and write the main features which are relevant in your opinion. Fruits and vegetables constitute the rice consumption. They share almost the same level at about 10%. There are some useful vocabulary to tell the percentages in a different way. 1/3 of the total means it is 33%. The majority of the whole, it is more than 50%. 1 in 5 of the total, it equals 20%, and twice means 2/4. Here, 1052 words were written. Now you try to evaluate my writing. I think enough for our lesson today. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you next time and goodbye.